we aren't able to come to an agreement with Essential Health on the clinic lease, then they would likely vacate, and we'd have this building to own. I think we're still in discussions about that. There was some issues with the construction of that facility and some of the work that was done that needed to be addressed. The city took action and filed a lawsuit with respect to that, and settled with all the contractors of the original construction of that. We have that money held in abeyance minus some architectural fees and some legal fees. And I think there's something around $800 and some thousand left in it. I'm not sure. Sherry might be able to accomplish that. And we have to make these repairs moving forward. And I think as the discussions move forward with the potential continuing to extend the lease or an outright purchase, I know that's something that is in discussion now with Essential Health. But one of the drivers of that is to ensure that the repairs are made to the clinic. Did that answer your question, Councilor Motley?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, thank you. And Sherry, what's an approximate amount of money that we have holding in advance for those repairs?
$516,000.
$516,000. And I think the repairs that we're getting quotes on are higher than $516,000. So we're going to find a way in which to accomplish that, and we'll continue our discussions and negotiations with Essential Health with respect to this clinic lease prior to its expiration.
And just to reassure you that the agreement, because I did talk with U.S. Bank, who has the escrow and the bond on that, the agreement states that as long as they are in there renting, they're not going to be squatters. They have to pay the rent.
Right. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, anything else on the clinic lease? Okay, 7.3, the rental code ordinance. I know that Britt, our city administrator, had indicated to me that the planning and zoning is continuing to work on the fee schedule for that, and is going to be making a presentation to an adjustment to the fee schedule. Does anybody have any more information about that moving forward? I know that we should be seeing that fairly soon for us to take a look at and acting upon it. So does anybody have any questions about that? Councilor Freelieb.
I thought that when I read the minutes of the last planning and zoning meeting that was returning to the responsibility of the council, and not the planning and zoning moving it to the council. And also, I think there was even comments related to like the current fee structure, which of course is still in flux, but would have been cost prohibitive for like HRA to be able to cover the costs of each of those individual units for all of the units that they have. That's my understanding, that planning and zoning is handing the baton back to the council to revise those fees and to come to some conclusion.
That is correct. Britt had indicated to me that the planning and zoning provides some additional information for us to consider, and Britt has indicated that we're putting on the next committee of the whole meeting for discussion. Councilor Beyondich.
Right, and at being present at that planning and zoning meeting, I think that is what they indicated, that would come back to the city. They had some recommendations, and they kind of based it off the Grand Rapids model. But it would be up to the council to work out a fee schedule and how all of that would work. So I think it's a conversation with planning and zoning, but we, as a council, need to work on that.
Yes, thank you. And I think the recommendations came back to Britt, and then I think it's the ball, like you said, the ball is in our court to make a determination about the fee schedule itself. So we'll be discussing it at the next committee of the whole meeting. Thank you, Councilor Beyondich.
Thank you. And I also recall asking that when we do have a discussion on this, that some of the parties that were present in the audience be made aware of that, so they could also have input. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Councilor Beyondich. Okay, anything else on the on the rental code ordinance? Okay, move to item 7.4, the Ontario Motors contract. We did have a special council meeting at 4 o'clock with respect to this and already taken action on the Iron Trail Motor contract. Counselor Johnson.
I would move that we remove 7.4 from future
Thank you.
agendas.
Thank you, Counselor Johnson. Counselor Johnson makes a motion to remove 7.4 because it's already been addressed. Is there support? Support by Counselor Freelieb. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8.1, discussion items, approve submitting a draft ordinance modifying Chapter 8, Section 8.07 entitled Rules and Regulations for the Use of the Water of Silver Lake and Virginia Bailey's Lake to the DNR for approval. We just had a public hearing as required by the DNR, and we were submitting any comments or made or lack thereof in a draft ordinance for to the DNR. So we're looking to approve and submitting this draft ordinance.
I'll move the approval of the draft ordinance.
Thank you. Move to approve, moving this forward by Counselor Freelieb. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move to item 9, committee reports. Our city administrator is not here today. She has another engagement. So we'll start item 9.1, the committee of the whole report that was held on March 7th, 2023, or the meeting. Item 9.1A is was moved and supported at committee level to approve the quote in the amount of $13,027 for a 9-foot Chris Steel E-Series stainless steel truck box for Public Works under the state bid contract number T-765, parentheses 5, parentheses.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Beyondich. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1B, approve the quote for tree cutting for the 2023 street improvement project from Calgaro and Sons Tree Service in the amount of $25,770.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson and supported by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1C, adopt the resolution for the quote for the Neo Water FX30 for the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $34,200 with the transportation fee cost of $6,500.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Motley. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9.1D, approve the updated building maintenance repair foreman job description and the pay increase to $33.85 per hour as recommended by our personnel and staff.
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson. Is there support? By Counselor Freelieb. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Paulson and then Counselor Freelieb.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to, I guess, clarify the reason for the increase was the Minnesota State Inspector requires that we have a special engineer boilers license. And so in order to obtain that licensure, that's why the increase is there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Counselor Paulson. And so that was the same information to be disseminated by Counselor Freelieb. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1E, approve the library clerk social media / processing job description and a pay increase to $29.25 per hour. Move to approve by Counselor Freelieb and supported by Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 9.1F, adopt the resolution to hire Jenny Bourbonnais as the Community Development Coordinator based upon the scoring process with a start date on or after March 14th, 2023.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? Is supported by Counselor Barnzelli. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1G, adopt a resolution to hire Sophia Anderson for the Library Associate Reference and Outreach position with a start date on or after March 14th, 2023.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Motley. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1H, and you have a copy of the contract in your packet. Approve the proposed contract for services with the golf course professional Stephen Fingerus from April 21st, 2023 to March 31st, 2026, with a change of language from retirement payment with a different language for, what was the proper language, stipend or? With the language change there. Take a look at the contract here. Yeah. So, looking for council action.
I'll move the 3-year contract.
Councilor Johnson moves to approve the 3-year contract. Is there support?
Support.
By Councilor Motley. Further discussion? First, Councilor Beyondich, and then over to Councilor Paulson. Councilor Beyondich.
Thank you. And I know when we first got this, I guess I looked at it, and do we pay any of the other contract services, per se, a retirement? Is that in their contract?
Mayor?
Please, Sherry.
Mayor and council, no, but that is not, we don't pay his retirement directly. We don't cut a check and mail it to his deferred comp or wherever he's got it. When I do the budget here, it's under 613. Object code is 318, which says contract labor, and it's $150,700. That's going to include his payroll, his wages, whatever he does with that, whether he puts 5,000, whatever, up to in deferred comp in his own, that's his, we don't do any of that. We just pay him a flat fee.
Please continue.
And that's how the other services that we have in the city are paid?
Correct.
So they don't need to itemize what
And
they,
for
whatever they do,
reason-
they do?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. And when we had asked our city attorney to change that from, in the packet, it had said golf professional retirement, and the clarification was made that we don't want to necessarily get into using that language, so could we please change the language? But I don't like the language being changed to MISC. I just, it's changed
To
to.
what?
MISC. Is that what it, miscellaneous? Isn't that what it says? So it says golf professional MISC. I don't like that either.
No.
That just, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if this is what we're doing, we're contracting his services, it's broken out, this is what the golf professional is paid, then we were doing an added, like, almost like a stipend that he is using for his personal retirement at, doing it on his own. We are not, but that's just how it got labeled. And then the golf course personnel is the balance of that on there. And so you would add that up, and that's actually not the balance. That would be 46,000 plus the, oh no. Sherry, help me out. How does that? Oh, can you hand her that? It's the same that's in the packet, it's just a different label.
Oh,
So my question is, when we're redoing the contract, we either should just lump it all, like Sherry is saying. Why do we have to break it out? I'm not sure. And then I'm not sure, I think what Counselor Beyondich's question is, do we pay anybody else an over and above? And the answer was no. So I think when we talk about this contract, we need to say, and now we're approving it, and our attorney gives us this on our desk just tonight. It's not even in our packet, and it says miscellaneous. And I'm the one that has stated, I don't want anything labeled miscellaneous. So why would we pay anyone anything that says miscellaneous?
Well, we could change that from not retirement, not miscellaneous, but the stipend is the stipend. So whatever word you want to use, would you have a suggestion as to what you would label that?
Well, I wouldn't label it miscellaneous.
No, but you
I
have,
don't know why. I think the overall question is we don't give above and beyond to any of our other professional services contracts people above and beyond. And so in the future, what we should do is we should say it's the 46,000 plus the 5,000 is your lump sum plus your personnel, if that's what the city wants to pay him. Is that correct? We should not be breaking it out into any type of a stipend.
And actually, I have not worked with this. I assume this came from Fingeroos himself. So I don't know if someone here
I
at
don't know
the
if this
city
was
has
the
worked
past
with him.
contract and then we just changed the dates and it got
fine.
redlined.
it went through our Park and Rec director because and so we directed the Park and Rec director to negotiate this. He took a look at the contract, and this is what's before us today. I have no problem with anything that's in this contract. We've been paying this for him for a long time. He's provided the service that we needed. So for me, if you want a language change, I'm all for the language change, but I'm not going to, from my perspective, I think everything else is okay for the except of the descriptive of the compensation. Please continue, Councilor Paulson.
I guess I'd like to hear from Sherry, what, is that according to what the budget
Yeah, actually, it's good. Because I have contract labor for $150,700, and that would be his payroll or anybody he hires up there. And then I have golf course management, which I budgeted a little bit more than what 23 says. So, yeah, and that's his contract.
And I think my point, and maybe I'm not going to speak for Counselor Beyondich, but my point is we don't include a stipend for anyone other.
No.
And so when we redo this, or maybe I'll just make a motion that we go back, maybe I'll motion to table until the next committee, the whole meeting, where that can be ironed out and made sense. The 5,000 gets rolled up actually into where it should
Yes.
be.
Yeah, his contract.
So that's what I will do. I'd make a motion to table to the next committee, the whole meeting, where staff can, or our city attorney can adjust the contract accordingly.
There's a motion to table this. Is there support?
Support for discussion.
Can't discuss on a tabling motion. So moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? No. Roll call, please. Yeah, it's a move to table, so table overrides the motion that's on the floor.
Beyondich,
Aye.
Johnson,
No.
Aaroncelli. Yes. Cuffey,
No.
Motley,
Yes.
Friedlieb,
No.
Paulson,
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. It's just be put on the next committee of the whole meeting. Okay. Item 9.1I, direct staff to establish a policy on uniform replacement for employees at the Iron Torrey Motors Event Center and include a list of required clothing for replacement.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Motley. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. 9.1J, approve the filling of the vacant mechanics position to bring their mechanics positions to a total of 5 mechanics in the Public Works Department.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Yes, Counselor Johnson.
Thank you. Do we need to approve posting it, or is that implied in? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Johnson. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. 9.1K, adopt a resolution for the application to and receive funds from the RRB redevelopment grant program for demolition of a property at 511 15th Street North.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Paulson. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Freely. Further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 9.1M, adopt a resolution for the application to and receive funds from the IRRB redevelopment grant program for the demolition of the property at 225 8th Street South. I'm sorry, let me move back there. Thank you for pointing that out. 9.1L, adopt a resolution for the application to and receive funds from the IRRB redevelopment grant program for demolition of 213 5th Street South. Moved by Counselor Freely, been supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Now to 9.1M, adopt a resolution for the application to and receive funds from the IRRB grant redevelopment program for demolition of the property at 225 8th Street South.
Moved.
Moved by Counselor Motley, supported by Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 9.1N, adopt a resolution for application to and receiving funds from the IRRB redevelopment grant program for demolition of the property at 610 6th Street South. Move to approve by Counselor Friedland. Is there support? By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. 9.10, adopt a resolution for the application to and to receive funds from the IRRB redevelopment grant program for demolition of the property at 119 6th Street South.
Moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson. Is there support? By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 9.1P, approve the reclassification of the tax forfeit land with the exception of parcel 090-0137-0030 RLS number 17.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. And finally, 9.1Q, adopt a resolution to apply for and accept funds from the Community Partnership Grant Program for the Shop with a Cop program.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you, everybody. We'll move to item number 10, Commission Liaison Reports. Oh, I'm sorry, here we go. Got a late, hot item off the press. I think we all have that in our packet. Britt has asked us to be put on there a resolution which is dated March 14th, and it's we need to get the, hopefully, resolution passed. We need to seek application on the 15th. It's a resolution authorizing the City of Virginia to make application to and accept funds from the Department of Iron Range Resources Community Infrastructure Grant Program for Phase 1 of the 2023 Street and Infrastructure Improvement Program is whereas the City Council ordered preparation to our feasibility report for the 2023 Street and Infrastructure Improvement Project at the regular council meeting on May 24th, 2022. Whereas the objective of the 2023 Street Improvement Infrastructure Improvement Project is to improve the condition of the existing streets, avenues, sidewalks, sanitary sewer collection, water distribution, and stormwater drainage system. And whereas the estimated total cost of Phase 1 is estimated at $6,356,435. Let me repeat that, $6,356,435, with a total project cost of $14,075,236.35. And whereas if awarded, the City of Virginia hereby agrees to accept funding from the DIR, the Director of Iron Range Resources Community Infrastructure Grant Program for the project. That's the resolution looking for adoption. Move to approve the adoption of this resolution by Councilor Friedman, and it was supported by Councilor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Pam, for that. Okay, now we move to item 10, Commission Liaison Reports. Does any councilor like to give a Commission Liaison report this evening? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 11, Department Head Reports. Does any department head that's in the audience tonight like to give a report this evening? We have Jody Grabanowski, who regularly attends the city council meeting. I apologize, city council meeting, so thank you for Jody for coming to do so at this time. He does great things at the library, no question about that. So, no more department head reports. We'll move to item 12, council reports. Does any councilor have a report they'd like to give this evening? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to item number 13, which is adjournment. There's no other business to come before the council this evening. Thank you everybody for hard work. We stand adjourned to our next council meeting, which is Tuesday, March 28th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. in the council chambers. We stand adjourned. Thank you. Good night.